Everyone, this is our lecture number 33. In this lecture we discuss about the control of deflection. When we construct a element of a structure, at that time we also concentrate at our deflection part, because this deflection gives us the serviceability criteria. So there are some rules and clause are made for this deflection part, and these rules and clause are given in our IS code 456 2000. So first we understand how we improve the deflection part, and after that we have to discuss the clauses which are given in our IS code 456 2000. You already remember that or know that when you find the SFD and BMD of any beam, let's say it is a simply supported beam, and here we applied a point load at center, and I told you have to find the shear force and bending moment for that beam. So you simply find that shear force and bending moment. Same case if here I change with UDL and I told you find the bending moment and shear force. So you take a condition of equilibrium, and with the help of this you have find. For example, if you consider UDL, so you know that WL by 2 is the shear force and bending moment is WL square by 8. Okay, so this is the bending moment, and we considered bending moment in the beam and shear force in a beam. So for that we also considered the deflection part. So when you study the structure analysis, you already done that how we find the deflection. For that you have learned various methods. These methods are like moment area method, double integration method, etc. So when you find the deflection for that part, you see that this deflection is totally depend on the depth. So how this deflection is depend on the depth? If we consider a beam with UDL, we know that the deflection is equal to WL4 upon 384 EI. WL4 upon 384 EI. How we find this? You already done this part in our structure analysis subject. Okay, so I skip that part how we get this value, but we know that for UDL case in a simply supported beam, del means deflection is equal to WL4 upon 384 EI. So if here we put WL4 upon 384 E, you know that E is the modulus of elasticity and I is the moment of inertia. Okay, so EI is the total moment of inertia. So here you consider if EI is the total moment of inertia, and here our beam is rectangular in section. So how we take here? Here we take BD cube by 12, or it depends on the shape of the beam. So if here we consider the structure is rectangular, because we construct a beam, it is always rectangular in shape. So here we can take a rectangular shape. So for that moment of inertia is BD cube by 12. So if here write BD cube by 12, if D value is greater, that means deflection is less. Means if D is increase, deflection is decrease. If D is decrease, then deflection is increase. Means deflection is depends on depth. So when we construct a beam, if we provide at depth or a sufficient depth, then deflection is also less, because we want deflection. So for that we have to provide sufficient depth. Okay, so here we see that deflection is totally depends on depth. Okay, now we see the clause which are given in our IS code 456/2000. See, there are some clause for control of deflection which is given in IS code. So here we write, as per IS 456/2000, page number 37, clause 23.2. There are some deflection limit is given. Deflection should be within following limit. So first we have given in horizontal member, measured from the cast level of support. In horizontal member measured from the cast level of supports, deflection value is less than span by 250. And second clause is given in horizontal member after erection of partition and application of finishes, deflection is less than span by 350 or deflection is less than 20 mm. In this case, deflection should not exceed the smaller of these two values. Means when you have find deflection, so you have find deflection is less than span by 350 and deflection is less than 20 mm. So when you consider this part, so in this case deflection should not exceed this smaller of these two values, means deflection value is not lesser than these two values. So these are the deflection limit given for the horizontal member. Same we have given for the vertical member. So what is the clause we have given for the vertical member? Let's see. In this case you remember this value because this value is directly asked in your competitive examination. They give us for a horizontal member a deflection level is from cast at the support, then how much deflection? So your answer is deflection is less than span by 250. Now here we consider the vertical part. So the vertical deflection limits may generally be assumed to be satisfied provided that the L by D ratio means span by depth ratio are not greater than the values obtained as below. Means for vertical member we have given some clause in IS 456/2000. So first we take that value is depends on L by D ratio. So when we consider L by D ratio, so here we have given some values. When your beam is when our beam is up to the 10 meter, up to span by effective depth ratio for span up to 10 meter, means when we construct a beam and the span of the beam is up to the 10 meter, then we use these values. For cantilever 7, for simply supported beam 20, and for continuous 26. For continuous NUOUS continuous 26. So this is up to the 10 meter. If for span is increased, means for span above 10 meter, the value given in A means this A, the value given in A may be multiply by 10 by span meter. 10 by span meter means up to the 10 meter you have to consider these three values. If your span is increased or above the 10 meter, then you have to multiply this value with the 10 by span meter. Now third one, depending upon the area and the stress, of a steel for tension reinforcement, the values in A or B shall be modified by multiplying with the modification factor obtained by from figure number 4 of IS 456/2000. Figure number 4 of IS 456/2000, page number 38. So when you refer this IS code, you found that diagram like this. you found this diagram like this, which is given in IS 456. So in that diagram you have given here modification factor, here percentage of tension reinforcement, okay, or here some blocks made like that. And you have given values from this, means you have given diagram like this. This diagram is given in IS 456 2000. So you have to refer this diagram in 456 2000 at page number 38. So when you consider the tension reinforcement, then A and B value which is given is modified by modification factor, and this value we find with the help of this diagram or figure which is given in our IS code 456 2000 on page number 38. Same figure we have given for compression also. So when we consider the part of compression, because when we design a doubly reinforced beam we need a compression part also. So here we consider compression also. So depending upon the area of compression reinforcement, the value of L by D ratio be further modified by multiplication with the modification factor obtained from figure number 5 of IS 456 2000 page number 39. Same figure which we have seen for tension reinforcement we have given for compression reinforcement also. So you have to multiply with this modification factor. So this modification factor is found with the help of this figure. And last one for T-beam. Here we considered singly beam, this D part for doubly beam. Now for T-beam. So for T-beam and L-beam, the values of A and B be modified as per figure number 6 of IS 456 2000 page number 39, and PT for use in figure number 4 and figure number 5 of code should be based on area equal to BF dash D. So these are the clauses which are given for deflection for a horizontal member and for a vertical member. So when we construct a slab or when we design a beam, at that time we have to see this L by D ratio for the control of deflection. So these are the clauses you have to follow for the deflection part. So this lecture is over, guys. If you have any query, then comment in my comment box. Thank you.